I'm going to say this with much respect, or just no, forget that. Washington fans are have been drinking the Kool-Aid, and I think most people outside of Washington knew that this was not going to be um, that Washington was fraud. Sam Howell was fraud. Washington came in and got slaughtered by the Buffalo Bills, and it wasn't just because of turnover. It's because Sam Howell was just, I hate to say it, was abysmal. Sam Howell looked great versus the Cardinals and the Broncos. Two teams that aren't over 500. They look great against those teams, right? And everyone's, oh, Sam Howell's the guy, blah, blah, this, that, right? I love the fact that they run the ball. Brian Robinson should be the focus point of this offense. Terry McLaurin finds spots in the zone, but they looked awful. It wasn't anything Josh Allen was doing because Josh Allen looked marginal in itself. I mean, he was 20 for 32, but they weren't winning because they were winning because they controlled the ball on the ground, and then Washington gave him the ball four times. Stephon Diggs once again was masterful. He's once again the main focal point, getting open. His connection with Josh Allen is solid, but Josh Allen looks worse and worse. The more he tries to pass, the worse and worse he looks. Didn't have a bad game, but it was a game. If you watched it, Josh Allen looked really, really kind of. I can't say it's. He looked very uncomfortable in the pocket. It is something Josh Allen's trying to do. He's trying to be a better passer. So I think that he's going to get better towards the end of the season. If he stays healthy. It's a 17-game season. You only play 3 games, so I do expect Josh Allen to get better. For Sam Howell, he has a long way to go. You're talking a large project with Sam Howell. A guy who the game is coming too fast for him right now. You can't always rely on your legs. But you rush the ball 13 times, and you're not going to win by throwing the ball 30 times with Sam Howell. Brian Robinson need to have more carries. You can't abandon Eric. Everyone loves Eric. I would say this. Everyone loved Eric Bieniemy, but that offense was good without Eric Bieniemy. Because look at Philadelphia. Andy Reid, I think, is the mastermind behind it, and you see why the Kansas City Chiefs are doing well. And look at the Washington Commanders. You can't only rush the ball 13 times, and one of them was a quarterback sneak, or a quarterback run. Your receivers. I think you have a decent mix of receivers who are finding, who can mesh well in the defense. In the offense, but the defense, the pass rush, we talked about it so much that I think the pass rush did frustrate up the middle. Chase Young, I think he lost his luster. But that pass rush got 0 sacks on Josh Allen. All right, you talk about that front four: Payne, Allen, Sweat, what's his face, Sweat and Chase Young, and you get no sacks. Thought secondary played well as well too. There were a lot of pass breakups. That they had eight pass breakups. That was more than the Bills. Secondary's playing, But you only have one QB hit. 4 tackles for loss. You're not going to win. You're not going to win too many games. And like I said, they ran the Buffalo Bills ran the ball 33 times. It's probably one of James Cook's better games. 15 carries, 98 yards. They had one team as a team. They had 168 on the ground for 2 tubs. So, when you look at it, it wasn't the best game for Washington. But I think they were really kind of exposing Washington. Now, who they have next? They have my Eagles. My Eagles. Then you got the Bears, which should be a winnable game. Then you have the Falcons, should be a winnable game. The Giants, winnable game. The Eagles again. All right, so you have a stretch for Washington to kind of get better and to improve. To win some games, they should win. Steal some games as well too. The schedule doesn't necessarily get easier because you have the Dolphins on your schedule, you have the Cowboys on your schedule, the 49ers on your schedule, and the Eagles on your schedule. So it doesn't necessarily get easier for them. It only gets tougher. And for the Bills, I talked about this before, their schedule doesn't necessarily get tougher, but the games you're supposed to win. You got the Dolphins, the Jags. These are 2 games in the AFC that you should win. And winning these games are going to be very, very important to establishing that first round bye or that first round bye in the playoffs. So the Dolphins next, the Jaguars next, is going to be a true test. They're playing the Dolphins at home. You get the aerial attack, well, running and aerial attack coming into Buffalo. Josh Allen's going to have to play better if they want to win this game.